Thank you for taking time for hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Today podcast. And on the Time for Hemp Today podcast, we feature hardworking activists from all around the world. We are doing a reprise of a segment that was done on Time for Hemp Live, which is heard on AmericanFreedomRadio.com every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Senator Terence Positive Nelson from the United States Virgin Islands, along with Lynnette Shaw, co-author of Proposition 215, sit down and discuss the global politics that roadblock the end of the war on drugs with my joint host, Melissa Balin, and myself, while taking time for hemp. Musical artists featured in this particular segment are David Kirton, who will be singing Green Camouflage, and then we've got a song by Daddy Roots, and then another song by Michael Arscott. I would encourage you to share this particular segment with your friends. Let them know that we also have a Time for Hemp music podcast where we feature the hardworking musical activists that oftentimes are overlooked because they are singing about how wonderful marijuana is, yet their music is just as fantastic, oftentimes better than what you hear on the radio. Well, with that said, it's a good time to pack up a great big bowl and pass it around and share it with your friends. And we're going to kick off the program, like I said, with some music, and then we're going to come back and talk with Senator Nelson from the Virgin Islands, Lynnette Shaw, and Melissa Balin, all here at Time for Hemp.
Fighting in big cities, taking out the innocent and the guilty. They no longer need to blend into the trees. They're hiding in the street, oh my gosh, trying to desensitize me on the TV with their vision of brutality. But trying to shallow my conscience with defensive statements. Oh, no, camouflage, they say no, camouflage, they say no, no camouflage, no camouflage, they say no camouflage, no camouflage, no camouflage. Give me the green camouflage for my peace march. Oi, green camouflage will be on up. How you mean illegal? Give me the green camouflage for my peace march. We're a peaceful people. Green camouflage will be unarmed. Hey. Camouflage in a fashion, they must have thought the war was over for America. Oh, I tell them they don't need the green no more. Searching for the enemy door to door. I will make camouflage in Jamaica, make me feel like a soldier in your army. In Barbados, most peaceful people I know still can open embargo. No camouflage, they say no camouflage, they say no camouflage, no camouflage, no camouflage, they say no camouflage, no camouflage. Wow, give me the green camouflage for my peace march. Whoa, yeah, green camouflage will be unarmed. How can I shirt me illegal? Give me the green camouflage for my peace march. How come green camouflage so illegal? Oi, give me green no dress, no skirt, no shoe, no sock, no bag, no rag. Give me the green. Camo, camo, camo. Give me the green. Hey. Give me the green. How come? Give me the green. You don't fight your battle on the battlefield. Soldier. Give me the green. Hey. Give me the green. Camo, camo, camo. Give me the green. No camo, no camo, no camo. No camo, no. Hey. Give me the green. Soldier. Give me the green. Oh, well. Give me the green. Camo, camo, camo. Give me the green. How come?
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and take some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. An acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp. Yeah.
Thank you for taking time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to the live broadcast of Time for Hemp all around the world on AmericanFreedomRadio.com and on AM, FM stations all across America. I want to give a big shout out to all of my friends up at KDK Distributors and thank them for giving us a grant to help keep us loud, proud, and strong. And I also want to say thank you to Head Shop Canada for being nice enough to support us as well. I would encourage you to check out their website. They got some beautiful glass pipes. And I also want to give a big shout out to AmericanFreedomRadio.com for being caring enough to help not only raise the voice of freedom, but the voice of the marijuana movement. On the program today, it is, as always, a fabulous Monday with my joint host, Melissa Balin. Melissa, thank you for taking time for Hemp.
Hemp, hooray, Casper. Thanks for having me to make time for hemp.
You and I are being joined by our joint guest, Senator Terence Nelson. Senator, thank you for taking time for Hemp.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be able to join you today and be a joint host.
What a pleasure. This is a personal friend of mine and a very well-known, well-respected public figure because Senator Terence Positive Nelson is also the founder of the Positive is How I Live campaign and is the first Rastafarian senator in both the USVI and the United States. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I guess Rasta has made a breakthrough in mainstream politics. I was a teacher prior to running for office in 2004. I'm currently serving my fourth year as an elected senator. I'm in the 29th legislature. This is my fourth re-election, my fourth term. And I guess some folks have finally decided to rest aside their stigma about the Rasta culture and understand that we have something to contribute. And likewise, it's time for Rasta to get out the bush and get into mainstream because we have something to offer.
Absolutely, although we also love the bush, if you pardon the expression.
There's nothing wrong with that. It is time, I believe, to offer some freedom and some allowances as it relates to the use of the healing of life, the herb.
Senator Nelson and I had the pleasure of delivering a press conference together in St. Thomas, known as The Rock, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I was a guest of the amazing ISW studios and also of USVI Normal. Big up to everyone on USVI Normal, the whole board of directors that made my time so special. But Senator Nelson was a major highlight of my trip, and you actually reside and serve in St. Croix, although you are representing all of the Virgin Islands. So tell us a little bit about it's Twin City, is that right?
Yes, it's referred to as Twin City.
So tell us about, so that people understand, because the Virgin Islands are in a unique position because they are a territory in the United States, like Guam or Puerto Rico, but they are not actually bound by our Constitution or our laws. So what was really interesting about this trip is that the Virgin Islands is pretty progressive in terms of wanting to legalize both cannabis and hemp, and industrial hemp.
Okay.
So, Senator, tell us a little bit about the Virgin Islands. You've been serving so many terms, so you want to get into a little politics here.
Okay. Well, the Virgin Islands is an unincorporated territory of the United States of America. It was purchased in 1917 by America from Denmark for some $25 million. This is the status of a modern-day colony. We are, in fact, impacted by the Constitution. However, the Constitution does not follow us to the extent that we are not allowed to vote for the President of the United States once we reside here in the Virgin Islands. If we happen to be on the mainland, we are American citizens and can vote. But when we reside in the Virgin Islands, we cannot vote for the President of the United States. However, our men and women go off to war. They join the National Guard, they join the Army, and they participate in war. So you can see it's in somewhat a biased playing field. We are governed by what they call the Organic Act, the Revised Organic Act of 1954. That's an act of Congress. There are three main islands make up the Virgin Islands. That's St. Croix, the largest of the three. Then there is St. Thomas, and then there is St. John. Collectively, we have somewhere around 115,000 people as a population. It's a main tourist destination. We also have on St. Croix the largest oil refinery in the Western Hemisphere. It's referred to now as Hovensa. It's a partner between Hess Oil and PDVSA of Venezuela.
Wow, I'm still trying to find out why they call St. John Love City, but I think one day I'll find out.
On your next visit. The islands are distinctly unique. St. John is still very natural because 3/4 of it is a national park, and it's well preserved. And the saying is that when you go there, you just feel love in the air, and it's easy for love mates to really get into each other because it is just so natural, and it's just you and nature really to get into each other. So. That's pretty much why it's referred to as Love City. It's easy to fall in love over there.
Well, and speaking of love, I'd like to jump in here and let you both know that we are also joined on the program today by Lynnette Shaw. Lynnette has the oldest medical marijuana dispensary in California. And when she heard that you both were going to be on the program today, she wanted to make it a point to take time for hemp. Thank you, Lynnette, for being on the program.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you all doing?
Love you, Lynnette. How are you?
Well, we're surviving. I've been licensed since 1997, and we're the only pre-215 club to have survived. So we're the longest-standing licensed dispensary in the nation.
That's a really incredible job. Let's for that. And actually, Lynnette, the few times that I've been on the show as a guest before I had the honor of becoming a joint host, we always talk about that we need your amazing theme song from Time for Hemp for our Hemp Hooray soundtrack that hopefully will have Lynnette Shaw's beautiful Time for Hemp song, which you heard when we opened the show.
Oh, I'd be honored. Yeah, and I'm fascinated that the Virgin Islands are, how far-reaching our hemp movement is. Like the Virgin Islands, where it's very important to know about the hemp, what the hemp could do for all of us all over the world. And help small nations like the Virgin Islands,
And speaking of that, I'd like to ask the Senator, what's it like in the Virgin Islands with the marijuana movement? Do I just, get off the plane there and get myself a hotel room and then go out and score myself a half ounce in the street? Do you smoke lounge just like they do in California? What's up there? Is it against the law? Do I get thrown in jail?
It is not legal. It is not. I mean, it's available, and there's a certain level of tolerance exhibited by the local police. You won't see them if they happen to be passing you on the side of the beach somewhere, they won't necessarily stop and harass you. However, that's at the discretion of the officer because it is still, in fact, illegal. There are no real allowances. I'm actually recently introduced for drafting legislation which will at least provide some allowances. But the entire Caribbean seems to have a certain level of tolerance. Though it's illegal, you don't find that the officers really harass individuals. However, recently, in recent months and years, we've had frequent raids or helicopter flyovers in concert with the federal government. That is why exactly we've been lobbied to push to get some legislation, because we feel we are using up much economic resources fighting herb, and we would like to see more dollars utilized to work against the hard crimes, the murders, the rapists, and these other crimes, and hopefully sort of give some more allowances to herb or hemp or marijuana.
Is your point of view a very prominent and majority?
Yes. I, as a matter of fact, we are also going to offer for a referendum so that we can have a public survey, so we can lobby Washington for some sort of legalization. As you know, we're legalizing the authority to legalize the rest with the federal government. Even though we might have some allowances here, the federal government supersedes our laws, and if we're going to get, like, I guess, pretty much the same problem you have, do I understand that even though you have Ms. Shaw, you have a licensed dispensary, that at times the federal government comes in and kick your door in?
I've never been raided, actually, but I have been sued. And this is even with 80% of all Americans now supporting medical marijuana, they're still trying to find out how to shut us down. And I've never been raided. I've never had that problem. I've had a license. However, I was sued for 10 years in civil federal court trying to remove the permit from me by claiming I had a house of ill repute.
Oh, my goodness.
And now the IRS is suing me and every other dispensary that has legitimately filed the IRS taxes, claiming that we have houses of ill repute. So I'm having to fight.
Lynnette, if you ever open a house of ill repute, let me know. I'll come down there. I'll come down there and run up my hand.
Casper, I keep trying to open a house of ill repute, and they're like, just because you live there doesn't make it ill repute.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can call me the marijuana madam if you like, but because I was in civil litigation, I cannot be criminally raided, but there has been just hundreds of these facilities raided across the nation during the last three presidents, including Obama. It's been very unfair and very mean to all the patients and the science and everything else that we have. We can't get them to look at the evidence.
You know,
so I'm hoping we can, you know.
My issue relative to herb is that if we were to be honest with ourselves and take a vote all across the nation, I believe that we'll have more individuals in support of free use than those who are opposed to. And I want to be clear that when we're having this discussion, that we're not talking about children or minors, under the age of 16, 18, whatever limits you want to set. But I believe that most individuals will admit that some of what they state as far as the negative impact of herb are not in fact true and can't be substantiated by any factual data. And instead of directing so much resources towards the fighting herb, they need to look at the economic potential which exists, never mind to say the social potential as well.
Well, with that said, we have to look at the economics of our radio show. That means we have to have a budget that we got to cover. With that said, we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to enjoy some music about how fantastic marijuana is. And then when we come back, we're going to be taking a whole lot more time for hemp.
Treating your Yourself Journal, the alternative medicine journal, is written and published by patients for patients.
Dr. Claudia Jensen is a clinical instructor at the University of Southern California and a practicing pediatrician who advocates the use of medicinal marijuana for the treatment of ADD and ADHD. Dr. Jensen, good evening.
Treating Yourself Journal has grown to be a worldwide source of valuable information on medical cannabis. And go to treatingyourself.com to check out previews of upcoming issues and events. Treating Yourself Journal provides patients methods on growing medical cannabis for themselves. Also, introducing healthier ways of taking their medicine. Look for Treating Yourself Journal at any Barnes & Noble and Borders bookstores. Go to treatingyourself.com and order 2 subscriptions, one for you and one for your doctor. Treating Yourself Journal, a valuable resource for the global medical cannabis movement.
Warning. Warning. American. Warning. American Freedom Radio is habit forming. American Freedom Radio is habit forming. Use the truth carefully.
Whoa, nah, nah. So much war in the world, northwest and east. Though they negotiate, still they can't get no peace. So they call the Rasta man to get his opinion and decide to throw a party and invite everyone to the state of affairs and the tense position. Please, someone, please call the Kali man. There's a party going down on the other side of town. Everyone is invited. Let's just bring your herb and come. First came a legal sativa, Colombian gold and Sensimilia. Northern light shines at the party. From Morocco to Timbuktu. Ooh, yeah. People come together. There's a party going down. Let's make love and not war. There's a party going down. People come together. Party going down. Let's make love and not war. So much war in the world, northwest and east. Though they negotiate, still they can't get no peace. So they call the Rasta man to get his opinion and decide to throw a party and invite everyone to the state of affairs and the tense position. Please, someone, please call the Kali man. Bill Weed, come join the party. Sky the Chinaman, Chinsu. French, Italians, Germans, and North and South Americans, yeah. Some from the Caribbean too. Who ain't got a split, sucking on the chalwa of hydroponic Australian sativa. So light your chalice of arbitration. Yeah. Tonight we're floating round the world. Ooh, people come together. There's a party going down. Let's make love and not war. There's a party going down. People come Let's make love and not war. People come together. Let's make love and not war.
I'm Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico. Last year, my state became the 12th state to allow medical use of marijuana by patients who are seriously ill. Groups like the American College of Physicians, American Nurses Association, and American Public Health Association have all acknowledged the medical value of marijuana. To learn more about medical marijuana and what you can do to help, contact the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org. Thanks.
Thank you for taking time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. If you want to get involved in making the world a better place, you can go to green-aid.com. That's green-aid.com. Find out what's going on, and while you're there, make a donation. Your donations help our prisoners of war behind bars with their commissary needs and with their attorney fees. With that said, we are on the program today with my joint host, Melissa Balin. And Melissa and I have a joint conversation going on with Senator Terence Nelson of the Virgin Islands and our joint friend, Lynnette Shaw. Many people
because we love joints, Casper. Because we love joints.
That's it. Now, many people don't know that there's two types of, I believe there's two types still of the Virgin Islands. There's the British Virgin Islands and the American Incorporated Virgin Islands, which I think is weird that it's incorporated. But and you're part of the incorporated American Virgin Islands, aren't you?
Unincorporated.
Unincorporated, my bad.
Yes.
And you don't need a passport.
Virgin Islands of the United States. You do not need a passport to come to the United States Virgin Islands.
You
need one to go to the British Virgin Islands. But they're very close, and people do go back and forth for sailing trips, etc.
But just so that you know, Casper, because I've been there, it's actually less controversial, I think, to walk around in public with a joint in the Virgin Islands than it is to walk around in your bikini. So be careful, because it's actually more conservative publicly than, say, Jamaica. Wouldn't you agree, Senator? Than Jamaica or some of the other islands. People don't just walk around in bikinis. And, of course, I was there to speak with the Senate, so I had to even keep my shoulders covered. But I don't think there's a rule about the rest of you, just your shoulders.
No, there's no real rule per se, but we are somewhat conservative in our ways. Yes, people walking around without shirts or in bikinis in downtown usually might grab a lot of attention, including that of the police.
Right.
Someone standing on a corner smoking a joint does not really grab that much attention because it's very popular.
And the water is really that blue, everybody. That was the thing I took away from the Virgin Islands. Bring your mosquito repellent for sure, because I have a few bites still.
Well, see, when you stay long enough, they stop biting, But when you come at first, it's fresh to them, so they want to make sure they get their fill of you.
It was my virgin trip to the Virgin Islands, and you can find out about that trip and Jack Harris, Emperor Wears No Clothes, at hempcansavetheplanet.blogspot.com, where there's a soundbite with Senator Nelson about racial profiling and civil liberties. And this is a real issue, that they're presenting an opportunity for us to have a freedom that we're having trouble presenting on a federal level here. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, let me say this on behalf of the Rasta community. The only item, the only persecution on the Rasta community, because Rasta have already dispelled all of the notion of being evil and, all the misconceptions that society is trying to paint towards Rasta have been dispelled. However, the society still has an opportunity to persecute the Rasta culture because of the frequent use of herb as a sacrament or as a use in that type of culture. Now, take it for granted, it's not only Rasta smoke herb. However, Rasta is usually profiled and targeted, and that seems to be one way of attacking the culture of Rastafari, and it's unfortunate.
Similar for hippies in California.
Yeah. Very, very similar. Very similar. As a matter of fact, it's pretty much the same culture, you know. What we like to say in the Rasta community is when we're talking about one love, you erase all color. So it's the same thing when the hippie talking about love. It's the same thing they were saying as we perceive it. So when we're talking about love and Jah, God, you can't have any barriers to that, all inclusive.
I do want to ask the Senator, you being the first Rastafarian, what is the normal politics there? Is it what is the party system and how is it structured?
We have the two main parties like you do on the mainland, Democrats and Republicans. Democrats have been in power for quite some time around here over the past 30 years. There's also a local party called the Independent Citizens Movement, which I'm a member of that party. It's a local party, a local agenda. And, of course, there are the independents. Though we have these mainstream parties, being an unincorporated territory right here in the middle of the Caribbean, we sort of have different issues we have to discuss and concentrate on. So the mainstream is just by name, and many times the agendas sort of vary based on our geographic location and our demographics, by the way. We are predominantly black. It's about 75-78% black here, about a 15 to 18% Hispanic, and the rest other. But we have a very harmonious community here.
Beautiful.
I love the Virgin Islands. It's so beautiful, and I'm so appreciative of the time that I got to spend there. It's really amazing. I'm even more excited about the energy that you're presenting with this legislation to legalize hemp and cannabis.
Yes. Well, we feel that we need to get ahead of the game. We believe that it would be a boost to tourism. We will decrease crime. And, you know, when we talk about the free use of hemp or, let's say, cannabis, we have to understand that not everyone will smoke herb. Some people will make tea. Some people will use it in foods. And, you know, the medicinal value is real. That has been proven. California has proven that by having the legislation passed.
And will you be examining the industrial uses as well, you know, for hemp production, for fuel production and turning it into cloth and turning it into plastics and that type of thing?
The value-added uses of hemp are endless, so I believe we should not limit ourselves to any one particular area. I think we need to just go all out as far as use it for industry as well as recreation. You know, it's an herb and it's a plant, and it can be used in many ways, and then we feel why not? It helped to finance the war. It provide material for soldiers. As the song was stating, George Washington and Jefferson, it seemed like in order to be president, you had to be growing hemp back in the day. So why not today?
Well, you guys could end up leading the world in fuel production if you played your cards right. Lynnette, were you getting ready to say something? I'm sorry.
Well, yes. One thing that one of the lies that have been spread is that the cannabis cannot be regulated, it can't be controlled, it's highly dangerous. And we're the living example that for 14 years of having a system that easily regulates it. And we have a proven track record that everybody can play by the rules and that all sides are happy with the system. Once you set up a system of regulations and that people can understand and obey, it's very easy to regulate cannabis, you know?
I wanted to chime in, as you're talking about regulate, I believe what they're more concerned or more afraid of is, you know, everyone wants to really always have a corner on the market or have a hole on the market. And if hemp is allowed to be used for oil and other plastics, etc., you know, it seemed like it might offer competition, and a lot of small players, you know, it will sort of have like a cottage industry effect where small players can participate. And we have a situation here, being a capitalistic society or economy, we have a way where we don't want small players to get any gain in the mainstreams. It's been noted that it's been a conspiracy against the hemp or against cannabis for quite some time, and that was started by one of these plastic companies.
Yes, yeah, and that's the pharmaceuticals fighting medical marijuana because like you say, here in California, only the small collective growers can grow legal medical marijuana. So they've empowered thousands of small mom-and-pop medical marijuana growers, which are providing to 500,000 licensed legal medical marijuana users. And
yes, and even though it never gets credit, Jack Herer won't let you forget it. Yep, you said it. Cannabis hemp. It's the most reliable source for us to save the planet with fiber, fuel, paper, plastics from every level. And so thanks to Lynnette Shaw, thanks to Jack Herer, Jack Baker, and Eddie Lepp, and Casper, Leitch, and all these people, Stephanie Landa, and Steve D'Angelo, Debbie Goldsberry, Brett Bogue, Kyle Cushman, people that won't stop telling the truth about cannabis, hemp, marijuana. It really shifts the paradigm. So people start to think, well, why do we have a problem with this plant that actually has never killed anyone? And more people have died of an overdose of water than they have ever in history in 5,000 years of cannabis hemp. So we have statesmen, we have performers, we have educators all coming together saying, okay, we have to do something. This is a joke. Prohibition is so over. So thank you all for your service.
Well, I need to jump in here because we're going to take a commercial break and pay our bills. And when you were talking, you got me thinking that, yes, it was in 1990, May of that year, that Jack finally talked me into coming to work for him and running his office. And from the time that I met Jack Herer, I must honestly say there has not been a day that I haven't talked about the need to take time for hemp.
Get your smoke on.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier medical marijuana physicians clinic in the USA. THCF has offices across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan and in California, Oregon, Washington State, Montana, Nevada, and Colorado. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 medical marijuana patients obtain their permits to legally possess, use, and grow marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or other neurodegenerative diseases, gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, IBS, AIDS, cancer, spastic conditions, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or go to hemp.org. That's HEMP.org. THCF Medical Clinics at 1-800-723-0188.
Yo, what's up? Check this out.
The voice of the revolution. American Freedom Radio. American Freedom Radio.
All herbalists, all ganja man, put down Babylon, cause them not free up the herb. It's so absurd. Carry me.
Hold me reason with me, brethren. We smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. That's a natural thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and bite right through. When me reason with me, brethren. We smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. That's a natural thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and bite right through. Don't if you take a talk and me say, don't if you take a talk. It was found from King Solomon's grave, that's no joke. Got no coke, devil trick, only natural thing. Me smoke me ball, them 110 years feel liquor. Wicked man got plant on earth, free and simple. And act like they don't know, and it's time make that logo. Tell me when we Babylon free up the herb. Farmer man, happy rise up, this is so absurd. Don't know where reason with me, brethren. We smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. That's another thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and march right through. The newest Declaration of Independence paper was made out of the seed that they make praising us. Come number one kind stick and the black domina. Northern lights and the one silver pearl fire blaze early, but can't forget early girl. The highest grade you know, Zionite spirit for sure. Sitting righteously on this earth. It's the meditation in the book, it's what it's worth. All herbalists, all ganja man. Oh, when me reason with me brethren, we smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. And that's another thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and march right through. When me reason with me brethren, we smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. And that's another thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and march right through. For 400 pounds it gets taken from the docks, to 200 of them missing from police blocks. What a crap, can't get more political than that. Can't find a weed, they go draw, it's the same. But the crack and cocaine, that's always down the lane. Kill my people slow, they don't know which way to go. And it's time they make this turn around. Time for revolution, the system they get burned down for the ground. Oh, me reason with me brethren, we smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. And that's another thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and march right through. When me reason with me brethren, we smoke the herb, break it up and twist it up again. And that's another thing that we do. But the Babylon, them one fake come and march right through. Break it up and twist it up again. Twist it up again. Break it up and twist it up again. Twist it up again. Break it up and twist it up again. Twist it up again. Break it up and twist it up again. It's so absurd.
Excuse me for a moment while I vent about the mind-boggling stupidity of the autocratic, bureaucratic, right-wing, Neanderthal numbskulls who keep pushing an insane, inane, and inhumane holy war against marijuana, which is, after all, a weed. The most embarrassing thing for these holy warriors is that the weed is winning. They've been at this war since 1937, spending billions and billions of our tax dollars, militarizing our borders, and stomping on our Bill of Rights. They've used phone taps, garbage searches, jackbooted raids, and draconian prison terms to do what? To nab peaceful, mellow tokers who aren't bothering anyone, that's what. Despite 60 years of spending our money, they failed. 85% of Americans say marijuana is easy to obtain today. A third of our population says they've tried it. Nearly 15 million people partake of it at least monthly, and more high school students now smoke marijuana than cigarettes. Meanwhile, the holy warriors have become more fanatical and thuggish. A marijuana arrest is made every 41 seconds in America, 9 out of 10 of them for mere possession. In 2004, 772,000 Americans were arrested on marijuana charges, more than for all violent crimes combined. And 40,000 Americans are in prison today for this victimless crime, more than the entire prison populations of 8 European countries. Even sicker, the sanctimonious weed warriors have made it a crime for thousands of seriously sick people to get the medical benefits of using small amounts of doctor-prescribed marijuana. Weirdly, our doctors can prescribe cocaine for patients, but not marijuana. This is Jim Hightower saying, for information and action to stop this absurd war, call the Marijuana Policy Project, 202-462-5747.
Listen to Time for Hemp, hosted by Casper Leitch. Afternoons, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central, only on American Freedom Radio.
Well, I went and had a bowl, a good green reefer, a big fat Joe beef, much sweeter. I don't hide it. I don't hide it. I don't hide it. I don't hide it. Well, I don't hide it. Fire up right now.
Yeah, baby, fire up right now. Be loud, be proud. Come out of the closet and let everybody know that you are a proud marijuana user. If you're looking for an organization to get involved with, I would encourage you to check out leap.cc. There you will find an amazing group of speakers that you can invite into your neck of the woods to help improve the brains in your community by letting them know the truth about this horrific prohibition. On the program today, my joint host, Melissa Balin, and I are on the program with two fantastic individuals, our joint friend, Lynnette Shaw, and we are quite honored, to say the least, to have the first Rastafarian senator from the Virgin Islands, Senator Terence Nelson. Senator Nelson, it is quite an honor that you would take time for this program, and I know that you are very busy with the legislation on your plate. You have a lot of other problems there that plague your community from this horrific war on drugs that you need to focus on as well, don't you?
Well, yes, we do. Being in the Caribbean, you know, we're the stepping ladder between South America and North America. The drop-off points, you know, we're the area where they want to pass through and drop off shipment until they can get up to the north. So, of course, with drugs and the advent of gangs and small spaces, it's increasing crime and violence surrounding the sale of these types of contraband, and it's just a growing problem throughout the Caribbean altogether. I just want to remind you, Casper, when you call my name, it's important that we put Terence Positive Nelson inside there. Positive is how I live, and one that mentioned all the time, as frequent as possible.
I have a question for the senator.
Yes.
Some of the listeners, I know Casper knows, and about the Internal Revenue Service is attacking myself and every licensed dispensary in the nation right now. And I have the lead appeal, actually. We're prepared to fight this because we can prove that marijuana is indeed medicine. Now, does the IRS have power in the Virgin Islands also? Could they come in and also try to shut down any cannabis or hemp in the Virgin Islands this way?
Well, being a colony, the IRS does have power here. Even though we have our own tax system, it mirrors the IRS. But, again, the federal government supersedes most local action taken here.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, we are America. And
strange,
but the USVI, which is amazing, has been there before America, and the Danish ran the USVI for several hundred years.
Yeah, well, let me give it a quick rundown. America is the seventh country to own the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. We were owned by six other countries prior to America. You start with the British, the French, the Spanish, the Knights of Malta, the Denmark. Who did I miss? It's Denmark, the Netherlands.
Maybe one is missing. The Spanish was the seventh?
Yes, it is Spain. I was not writing it down when I was singing, but the Dutch, Denmark.
So that's seven. That's a lot.
Yes, so America made the last purchase, and it was during, they were actually concerned that because they purchased us because of the strategic location. We oversee what they call the Mona Passage. It's the deepest waters in this area, so we're like a big median in the ocean. And for naval purposes, they found it would be a secure location to have and not allow it to fall into the hands of the Germans at the time, because they didn't feel like Denmark was strong enough to hold on to these islands. So they offered $25 million for it.
But I want to address the rumors that are going around that the illustrious senator that's on the phone with us right now, because I like to break news, and we were with Gary Johnson, who might be a guest on the show, right before he announced his presidential run. I heard a rumor that Senator Terence Positive Nelson may be running for governor of the USVI. Can you address that rumor on Time for Hemp? Is that a possibility that the first Rasta senator of the USVI and of the U.S. might run for governor of the USVI? Let's talk about that.
My, Melissa, for only being in the Virgin Islands a short time, you pick up things quick.
Well, I got a lot of rumors while I was there.
Okay, well, yes, the truth of the matter is I I was going to be in the 2010 gubernatorial election. We had to pull out coming down to the filing date. However, we're seriously considering it for 2014. We believe that it's time for honest leadership here, and we believe that the constituency trust. They need someone they can trust, someone who is sincere about just good governance, efficient government, improved infrastructure, and leisure. And I believe I offer the best of both worlds. I come right in the middle, very good as it relates to grassroots and mainstream America.
Casper, he said grassroots. Did you hear that?
I did. Now we're down to the last couple of minutes here, so I want to make sure that everybody gets their questions in. Lynnette, have you got a question for the senator?
Yes. Would you like me to come to the Virgin Islands and testify about regulating cannabis and how successful it can be? Anytime, just let me know.
Well, I'm glad. Just please pass on your contact information to Melissa. We'll be glad to, because we believe that we're a good testing ground for just free use altogether.
And how long do we have to live in the Virgin Islands to be able to vote for you for governor? What does it take to become a resident in the USVI?
2 years. 2 years prior to the election.
2 years?
We should go right now, because it's 2011, people, and from 2012, if you move to the USVI, you could be eligible to vote.
We're down to about the last minute and a half. So if the people in your neck of the woods want to get busy making everything better there, what bill can they get behind? Who can they contact? What do they do to get involved? Who do they email?
Well, they can email my office at positivetimes@gmail.com. That's times with a Z and the N. positivetime@gmail.com. They can feel free to call my office for additional info and copies of the bill at 340-712-2210, or they can go up on the legislature website at usvilegislature.com.
Beautiful. With that said, remember, the next time you hear me, you'll know that it's time for hemp.
Take another look and spend some time.